Hey beautiful soul, welcome back to another video here on my channel and welcome back to another pick a card reading. If you are new, hi, my name is Natalie and this is Be a Free Spirit. Here on this channel I focus a lot on bringing the unconsciousness to the light and focus a lot on the self. So self-love, self-awareness, that type of stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing and joining the Be a Free Spirit community. Today's reading is all about some positive messages from your guides, from your ancestors, basically from your spiritual team. I felt like, some really just nice good news would do us all good. Personally, today it's snowing here in Utah, and so I just felt, like kind of just cozy and calm. And I just thought with some of the videos I've been doing, we've all been focusing so hard, right, on self-growth. And so it's important to kind of take a step back sometimes, right? So I wanted this reading to be uplifting and positive and, make you feel encouraged, right? That you're on the right direction, just words of encouragement. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty quick reading. This, spirit is pretty straightforward. So they definitely wanted to just get some really clear, concise messages. So before we jump into the reading, as always, if there's something that doesn't resonate with you in this reading, it could be that message wasn't meant for you. You guys know usually all the tarot stuff, use your intuition. I do want to mention something I'm focusing on my channel is tarot addiction, right? So making sure that you're actually taking the insights that you gained from any pick a card reading and applying them into your life. So not all the readings that I post will call to your intuition at this point in your journey. And if that's the case, please use your intuition and only watch the pick a card readings that really call to you. I want to make sure that this is actually helping you on your journey and not just, all information that we're all getting all at once and not having the space to do anything with it, right? So yeah, just something I want to mention on my channel. I trust your guys' intuition, so whatever you are feeling called to do, follow it. But I think that pretty much covers it. I have launched personal readings, so if you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can do so down below. I do video and email readings at this time. Let's jump straight into the deck selection so you guys can see the crystals and the decks up close, and then we'll jump into the readings. All right, so here's a close-up of the piles. Here's pile 1. This is clear quartz. This is pile 2. This is smoky quartz. This is pile 3. This is peach moonstone. And this is pile 4. This is blue kyanite. All right, as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds to meditate with the piles. I'm gonna go ahead and move these so you can see the image in case that, really helps you with your intuition. All right, I hope that gave you guys a moment to meditate with the piles. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the reading. Timestamps are listed down below for your group. All right, group one, welcome to your reading. Let's jump straight into it. We're actually going to start with the tarot cards, kind of work our way backwards. All right, so let's see some positive and encouraging messages from your spiritual team. We have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Empress. Wow. Okay, so your spiritual team wants you to know that I know it seems like it's a long road, and the aces, you know, really are here to describe that. They're depicted as young, right? Because you're young in your journey, right? This is the beginning of the journey that you're on right now, and your guides want you to know that they know that it's been hard. They know that it's been a long road, and they know that it seems like it's just gonna take so long, and is it really worth the effort, the time, the energy, your passions, right? Your goals, everything that you're working on. Sometimes you wonder, is it worth it? But your guides are here to tell you, yes, please believe that what you're doing is so worth it, because this kind of ambition and this kind of time and energy and devotion that you're giving to your life, right? And all the different parts of your life, it's gonna bring you into this Queen of Wands energy, right? Soon your hard work is gonna start paying off, and then you're gonna have a different attitude towards it, right? Because you're gonna say, oh my gosh, so everything that I've actually been doing is working. And so that is really what's coming. And then you have the Empress, which is beautiful, because that really is showing, because look at what you have here. You have Wands energy and you have Pentacles energy, right? So we're talking about abundance, we're talking about passion, and so this is everything that you've been working on. And your guides just want you to know that you're doing everything you need to do and to keep going, because it's gonna get you exactly where you need to go. And just hold that faith, okay? Hold on to your dreams, because dreams start small. They always do. It's literally like a little seed, right? That you have to plant and you have to nurture and you have to water and you have to take care of. And it can feel like a lot because you don't have an end image, right? Like you don't know what's gonna happen. And that is kind of the scariest part of the unknown. But your guides want you to know that you're gonna constantly throughout your life have these paths. So look at it as, you know, a wonderful experience where you really get to dive into what you love. You get to dive into things that will make you feel abundant and give you abundance, right? So that's what your guides are really saying. Your spiritual team is just encouraging you to keep going. I know it's hard, but it's gonna pay off, okay? Let's see what else they have to say. We have Moon Dance. Yeah, so dance more with life, right? That's because that's the thing, is this is a long road, and these long roads, the reason why they take so much time is because you're learning along the way, right? You're growing along the way. If everything in our life was super quick, we would never appreciate anything. We would never see the beauty in things. We would never see growth in things, right? So growth is such a beautiful thing, and taking the path is such a beautiful thing, but you have to dance along the way. Again, you have to see the path as something that is an adventure. So that's what your guides want to remind you, is dance more, right? Like in the sense of dance with life. It's not like you literally have to dance. You can, right? It's super good. It's a really good way to raise your frequency, but also connecting with the moon, right? Connecting with your divine feminine kind of energy is also something that your guides are saying. This will help you tap more into this Empress energy, as well as focusing on your divine feminine. So because we have the moon here, and the moon is all about the divine feminine, right? So your guides also are just saying connect more with your divine feminine, because it's going to help you get into this mindset of seeing the goddess you are and how you have to enjoy every moment along the way. Beautiful. We have To the Moon and Back. Look at that. We have another moon card. Yeah, that's pretty clear, is definitely working with your divine feminine energy, right? And there's this card is, I mean, all these cards are beautiful. This is the Oracle of, I think it's Mystical Moments. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but this is really beautiful because there's something so pure about this, right? And you did choose the clear quartz. And so it's like your energy is really going through such a positive direction too. So your guides want to give you affirmations on, they know how hard that you've been working on yourself, and you've been working on your energy, and you've been working on self-love too, especially is something you've been working hard on. And connecting more with your divine feminine, connecting to your passion, right? Because that's really where the passion lies. The passion, creativity, your sexuality, right? Sensuality, all of that lies within the sacral chakra, which is connecting to your divine feminine. So your guides definitely are encouraging you to just tap more into that inner goddess, right? And really treat yourself like the goddess you are. Again, I can't stop looking at this card because this is truly how your guides see you, right? Like, this is really how they see you. This is how your spiritual team sees you, because this is your higher self, right? You truly embody the Empress energy, nurturing, kind, very calm and beautiful energy, right? And because of that, that's one of your strengths, your guides are saying. You're a very nurturing person, and that is a very big gift for, you know, this world that we're in. It's something that really isn't appreciated. And so I think it's really important to connect to that divine feminine, connect to that nurturing energy, because it's what your guides want you to see about yourself, okay? See the strength of the Empress. Yeah, beautiful. So beautiful, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of feminine energy here as well. We have Stranded. So what I'm getting with this card is, again, you may feel like this path is long, or even when you hit road bumps along the path, you question, you know, I feel stuck. I don't know what to do next. And this is such a beautiful card because, you know, he has his ship and he's holding the anchor, right? And it's in a tree and he feels lost. But your guides want you to know that when you feel this way, when you truly feel like your ambitions, your dreams have literally just taken a halt. And the ship is such a beautiful metaphor for this because it's big, right? It's the free spirit. Again, it's taking this path. And that ship is open on free water, have no idea where to go, right? And so it's really the same thing, as you are walking a path of unknown, right? And it's just like diving, it's like sailing the ocean, right? Like, so much is still unknown. And your guides are just giving you encouragement. That's okay. It's okay, because when you do feel these moments of confusion, of feeling lost, of feeling stuck, your map is literally your spiritual team, okay? So when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling unsure, when you're feeling stranded, right? Call in your spiritual team. That's what they want you to know, because they don't like seeing you feel stranded, again, because they want you to really see this Empress energy that you embody. They want you to see this within yourself. So the Empress is someone who's very graceful, right? But she's a nurturing person, but she's still, you know, is open to support, because that is when you give so much love, right? You accept it back. And so your guides just want you to be able to know that they're here for you, and you don't utilize them enough. And they really want to help make this journey a lot easier, because they're so proud of you. They're so proud of all the things that you've overcome. Seriously, like, you've overcome a lot, but yet you have this clear, beautiful heart, right? Your heart chakra has been so strong. And I mean, there is a lot of green here, right? Your heart chakra has been so strong, and your guides are proud of you for working through things. We have Night Ride. So again, we have another night here, kind of referencing the moon, which it's not coming through any clearer, right? Like, this is seriously what I keep hearing, is your guides want you to know that connecting with your divine feminine will help you step more into your power, and thus you will take this path more confidently, okay? So connecting with the night, right? The moon. But again, this is also just about flowing. We kind of talked about that with the moon dance, right? About having fun along this path. And it's really just about flowing through the path. You know, I'm hearing it's not always good to have such specific timelines for yourself. That's not truly flowing, right? And that's putting a constraint on yourself. So I'm hearing don't set timelines. It's okay to set maybe milestones, right? But if you don't meet that, your guides don't want you to feel disappointed in yourself, right? We're really, as a collective, trying to eliminate the hustle mindset, right? We're working through that because we don't need that anymore. So your guides just want to remind you to flow more throughout this path, right? To flow, because you'll be at a lot more peace if you allow yourself to flow and not hold so much constraint. And trust me, I get it. I'm a Capricorn. Like, I'm very goal driven, right? And ambitious. And so I get it's hard not to have time frames, or it's hard not to have strict like milestones, but it's important to be able to flow through the journey, because then when things don't go the way that you thought or planned, it doesn't feel like such a block right in the road again. And actually that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel like you're stranded, because when you flow, and if the ocean wants to take you this way, instead of resisting, you're gonna flow, right? And then your ship won't get stranded. Not saying you won't ever, right? And that's why your guides want you to know that when you do, they're here for you. But being able to really flow more will allow you to not get stuck, right, as often. And so your guides just want you to know that, because they, again, want you to see your power. And you're gonna really see that as you start stepping into flowing more with yourself, right? All right, let's see what else they have to say. We have magic and ritual. Magic and ritual. So yeah, what this is saying is, again, your divine feminine. What are some rituals? What is some self-care that you've been neglecting, right? That really makes you feel within your divine feminine energy. What is it that makes you feel creative? What is it that makes you feel sexual? What is it that makes you feel ambitious, right? Like, you really need to, your guides want you to do some more introspection, right? Because they want you to see that you're the empress, and looking inward and really realizing, wow, I am incredible, right? And it's not from a place of egotistical, right? Where I'm incredible, yeah, I'm the shit. It's not about that, but it's about self-affirmation, right? And giving yourself the affirmation that you would give a friend, that you would give a family member, that you would give your partner, right? You have to talk to yourself in the same nurturing, kind way that you talk to others. That's what your guides want you to know. But so think about the self-care rituals that really are for you, and spend some time investing in those, because it will really help you feel more at peace. We have Knot of Isis. Part of your spiritual destiny involves a special relationship with the goddess. Okay, so again, we're talking about spirit, right? So, or goddess, or, you know, God, or whatever you resonate with. But your guides want you to utilize them more, right? Your spiritual team wants you to utilize them more. Again, we talked about that with Stranded, right? Part of your spiritual path is connecting more with your spiritual team. So allowing them to really come in and help you out when you're feeling stranded. And, you know, if you're newer to working with your guides, it can feel like a confusing, how do I even do this, right? But it's really about setting the intention, right? And you can do it in any way you want. You could speak to them out loud, you can write, right? You can do whatever way that you express yourself. It's all about the intention, because that's the way the universe understands things. They don't necessarily understand our words, right? I mean, obviously your guides are connected to you, but in way deeper ways than we can even comprehend. But it's all about the intention, okay? So connect more with your guides, allow them to help you more throughout your life when you need an extra push like this, right? When you need an extra amount of love, because the nurturing love that you give to other people, you need to receive in return to replenish your tank. right? Because that's truly the definition of duality. It has to be give and take. And so, you know, you could be an empath. I definitely feel that for, I think, you know, some of you. And you could be like an introvert as well, right? Where you need to recharge your battery. And so that's what we're talking about with self-care, is that what you need to do more of, okay? So that you can take this path more confidently and more purposefully, right? And more calmly too. And then it will feel more like a journey and not so much like a trip, I guess, if you want to put it that way. It's kind of an interesting way to describe it. We have Miracle of Isis. Isis offers a miracle healing no matter how much you have struggled with a particular matter. No matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without the old wound, addiction, problem, relationship issue, or inner struggle being part of it, you are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. Let go and let the goddess be. Yeah, so I think I felt just called to read that whole thing, but you know, your spiritual team just wants to know if there's anything that you're still holding on to. Again, if you're an empath, if you're holding on to people's energy, if you kind of emotionally get really close to situations, right, and they're not really yours, right, in that sense, right, that's part of being an empath. It can be really hard to control your energy in that sense. You have to be more aware of it. And so anything that you are still healing from, please take the time to do what you need to for yourself, okay? And again, we're talking about the divine feminine, so that could be connecting with a ritual bath, right? And really connecting to that divine feminine, working with the moon, right? Doing a moon ritual to connect to that divine feminine, because that's really just what's coming through, and that's going to help you heal maybe some of the self-doubts. That's what your guides are saying, is self-doubts or negative self-talk, like basically your talk, right? Your ego, in other words, your inner critic, whatever you want to call it. Your guides want you to, again, step into the Empress energy so that you can have a more positive and empowering internal self-talk. So spending time making sure that you're nurturing yourself is what is really needed right now, is what I'm hearing from your spiritual team. And we have truths unveiled. Yeah, look at that. Okay, let me read this. So there are times when appearances of people, places, and things are deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you. When you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you, you may think here is something wrong with you, but actually, you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. Trust what you feel, not all appears to be. Look at that. Okay, so your guides, I think most of you are an empath. I knew I could feel that. I'm one myself, so I completely understand, you know, what this can feel like. And so your guides are saying that because you're an empath or just highly sensitive, right, with energy, that listening to your intuition is going to help you take on what you need to and allow you to brush away what you don't. Does that make sense? You know how I was kind of talking about that earlier with the empath. You need to be able to, when you're connecting with people, not emotionally plug in all the way, right? To not give your energy, but it's about when you kind of fill into your divine feminine, you step into your Empress, you are able to use your intuition to see more clearly, because then it's not an internal matter, right? Like, because we were just talking about that with the internal kind of dialogue. Your guides are, you know, they know that sometimes you can have negative dialogue internally, right? Negative self-talk. And especially maybe when you're in situations, right, and you wonder what people are thinking about you, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, that was stupid. They want you to stop doing that and realize that if something feels off, it's not you. Use your intuition to figure out what's off, because that's what being an empath is, right? Is you can walk into a room and you feel energy, right? And you can be like, whoa, people are like pissed in this room, right? Or like, this room is like so happy. You just know. And so that's, your guides want you to realize your power of being able to sense things like this and start using it to kind of help you, right? To be able to guide you through situations, to be able to not use all of your energy tank. But overall, these were encouraging messages from your spiritual team, and they, yeah, they are just so proud of everything that you've done, and so proud of the kind of grit that you've had with your heart chakra. I think that to me is really inspiring, because it's not easy with this world that we've been in, and everyone's been through their own trauma and shit. It's really hard not to get jaded, right? But your heart chakra is pretty open, right? And it's, you know, we're all working on everything, but you're very nurturing and you give a lot of love to people, which is very admirable. So I definitely hope this brought you some just feelings of encouragement, right? Of knowing that you're not alone. Your guides are here to support you. You know, your soul family is here to support you. We're all here to support you. So please let me know how this resonated down below, and leave me a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if this really helped you, and join this Be a Free Spirit family. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next group, so I will see you guys in the next reading. All right, group 2, welcome to your reading. Let's jump straight into it. We're actually gonna do the tarot cards first, and then move to the oracle cards. Okay, so let's see some encouraging messages from your spiritual team. We have the 9 of Swords, the 8 of Swords in reverse, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Okay, so your spiritual team wants to basically give you kudos for the work that you've done on breaking down illusion. Okay, because this card in reverse, you know, this is all about like the illusion of entrapment, you know, a lack of self-confidence that makes you feel helpless, like basically kind of just self-doubt, right? All of these different illusions you've really worked hard on to get past. And so your guides want you to know that this is a very big deal, and basically like, thank you and good job for stepping into your power and kind of breaking down some of those illusions, right? So there is, though, something they want you to be aware of, that there's still some fears that you're having. And they just want you to know that the fears that you're having are still some type of illusion, and it's not, and it's a thought, right? It's a thought that you're having. It's something that, because I think what's happening is, you know, you've been really working hard on your ambition, right? In your job. You've just been working really hard, been working hard on your passions. And so your guides want you to know that all the work that you're doing is definitely gonna pay off, okay? If you haven't already seen it pay off, your spiritual team wants you to know it's coming, okay? Because of the work that you've put in, of course you're gonna be rewarded. So, but just refocus your thoughts. If you're having any negative self-talk, if you're having any like fears, right? Any other illusions, your spiritual team just wants to remind you that you can overcome any illusion or fear because you've done it before. So just remember to step into that power, right? And remember that you truly can manifest anything you want, and your thoughts are such a big part of that, right? So your guides want to encourage you to refocus your thoughts, right? Refocus your thoughts to this ambition, to yourself, to a basically more uplifting place that's going to raise your frequency and get you to keep doing what you love, right? So let's keep jumping. We got the gift. Okay, so a gift could be coming your way. Spiritual team is letting you know, but I think this is kind of just all about realizing your gifts too, right? Again, your gifts, you have some pretty clear sight. That's what I'm getting, you know, and the smoky quartz would make you think otherwise, being smoky quartz, right? Smoky and kind of cloudy, but that's really not the case. Your third eye has been pretty ignited, and you're just seeing things a lot more clearly, okay? So it's a gift that you have where you do see things clearly pretty quickly, right? Your intuition breaks down illusions faster, but sometimes your ego gets in the way, right? And sometimes in your ego is those thoughts, right, that cause those fear-based mindsets, because they're like, but what if? But what if? And your guides just want you to know that, remember, you have the gift of breaking down these illusions, of changing your thoughts. So use it, because that's like one of the hardest things to do, is breaking down self-talk, right? People go to years of therapy. It takes a lot to reconfigure your brain. So it truly is a gift if you have the ability to really kind of retrain that part of your brain. Plus, I see a lot of red here. There's like literally 3, and that would be your root chakra. So there's 3 women wearing a red dress. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, because what I think that just is I think that's your root chakra. So I think your spiritual team is saying, maybe spend more time with your root chakra as well, because that can help. When you get grounded, it can help bring you back to present, right? Sometimes when you're so focused on our ambitions and so focused on spiritual things, it can feel hard to see illusions for what they are, because we don't have the space, right? And so your spiritual team just wants to remind you to make sure that you also make space for new thoughts, but do some root chakra cleansing, because again, root chakra is your foundation. And I think some of your thoughts are kind of affecting some of your stability, because that's where like stability lies, right? So if you have fears around stability, it could have like financial, right? Your guides just want you to know to work with your root chakra and realize that you are truly taken care of, right? And that everything that you're working towards is gonna pay off. Beautiful. That red is, yeah, really standing out. We have butterfly garden, look at that. Yes, everything you are doing right now is like a caterpillar, right? Preparing to turn into a butterfly. And that's really what this is for you, is, you know, you've already, again, done a lot of work of breaking down those illusions. Your spiritual team just wants to remind you to keep breaking those down, because what's going to happen is you're going to transform, right? You're going to have a transformation, and that abundance is going to start flowing in because you've raised your frequency. Okay, that's what your spiritual team wants you to know. It's beautiful though. There's also a lot of blue here, so your throat chakra as well could be something to work with. Just make sure that you're being heard. We have the red garden. Look at that, red. Okay, that root chakra is coming in really clear. So your spiritual team definitely wants you to work with your root chakra and work with, you know, the thoughts that are affecting that, right? And again, the root chakra is all about stability. It's all about feeling secure. And so that's secure with yourself, or however it is in your life. Your guides want you to just work on that root chakra, because when you're watering that root chakra, right, and you're getting those foundations really built out, it's going to allow you to step more into a higher frequency, basically, right? It's crazy. All right, and then all is connected. Okay, so your spiritual team wants to remind you that everything is connected. And what I'm kind of hearing with this is more reminding you that your thoughts are connected to what manifests into your reality, because that's kind of what the illusion of the fear of self-talk, of whatever, you know, we all deal with. It's when we're constantly in that space, we start to manifest that into reality, right? And so your spiritual team is just reminding you that everything is connected. So keep your thoughts beautiful and as clear as possible. And if you're feeling stuck, ask your spiritual team to help. They're always connected to you as well, right? And so they'll always be able to help you. But I think that's an interesting kind of point that they're bringing up, but they just want you to be aware of how strong your thoughts truly are, okay? Cool, beautiful. Yeah, the colors here are like seriously so intertwined. I can't believe how much red there is. Yeah, it's definitely that root chakra for sure. That's crazy. Spirit is so on point today. Again, straight to the point. All right, let's see some last messages then, words of encouragement from your guides, from your spiritual team. We have Goddess of 10,000 names. Listen to this. If you have felt constrained by a role, name, or identity and are wishing for assistance to grow past it, You have ascended a new role of or identity, calling you into a greater expression, and when love, some divine help and growth. This, what? Okay, the next card we have is Goddess of 10,000 Names. Okay, so this card talks about if you're feeling constrained by something, maybe what you've always worked on in the past, you know, hasn't always been something that you've been interested in. Your spiritual team just wants you to know that it's okay to pivot. If you feel like you want to upgrade or change things in your life and you're like, I never thought I would change this about myself, right? Like, but it just doesn't feel like me anymore, right? If that's the case, again, you're ascending, right? You're consistently growing, and things are going to change in your life as the ego starts to fall away even more and more, right? Your true self is revealed, and then you might realize that, oh, I actually don't like this, right? Or I actually don't like this. I actually like this. And so your spiritual team is just encouraging you to listen to that inner voice of what you want. And if, you know, what you're working on is not who you really feel like you are, then change it and allow everything in your life to feel completely natural, right? And normal and comfortable. You want to make sure that everything feels like you. And then we have Pillar of Light. Yes, your spiritual team is here to be a beacon in your life, right? Is here to be a lighthouse, is here to guide your direction. So if you're feeling, again, stuck, if you're feeling in this illusion, you know, you're getting stuck in these mindsets of kind of these trapped thoughts, call upon your spiritual team for clearance, for guidance, for assistance, right? Because this is the light that is around you, but also inside you. So step, you know, more into your inner power too, as you kind of work on this root chakra and your stability. Kind of realize, you know, you're a pillar of light as well as what, oh my God, you're a pillar of light as well. So yeah, that's definitely beautiful. We have Ancient Power Mysteries. Yeah, so this is kind of your inner voice. Again, we did talk about the throat chakra, and I am kind of a little tongue-tied. And so really allowing your voice to be heard, okay? Because your higher self, your soul, your true self has a lot of knowledge to share, a lot of soul knowledge, okay? So it's important to allow your voice to be heard. And again, if you know you have these fears of self-confidence or whatever the case is, that's the illusions that spirit wants you to break down, because you are divine, right? You are a light worker. You're here to help raise the consciousness. So realize your powers, realize your inner power, and really step into that. Yeah, it's freaking beautiful. Your guides, again, when we first pulled this card, your guides want to give you so much encouragement because they know how hard this is. They know how hard illusions can be. We were conditioned our whole lives to listen to our ego, to listen to basically see illusions, right? To be like, oh, this is the truth, even though it's not. Healing the divine masculine. Look at that. Okay, so healing the divine masculine, right? And that is the root chakra. And so it's, okay, so listen to this. Healing the divine masculine. The divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety in holding the root chakra, even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of your life. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability, so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. That is insane. Yeah, it's okay, because we all possess both sides of the coin, right? The divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. So I mean, I couldn't have said it more perfectly. That's literally what your spiritual team is saying, is work on your root chakra, because you're connecting to your divine masculine energy, which is going to give you the stability that will help break down these illusions. I mean, spirit. All right. We have Portal of Light. Look at that. So this card is actually talking about working more with spirit. okay? Working more with your spirituality, having kind of more of a dual relationship between the two. Your spiritual team wants you to spend more time asking, you know, for help, more time kind of seeking guidance, right? Because they want to get you to really tap into all the abundance that's available to you, right? To raise your frequency to where you can accept all that your soul is meant to have in this incarnation, right? Dang. Flower of life. Right now, you are entering a fertile period of your life. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and surrender your control over how things will manifest and instead allow them to do so. Don't resist change. Go with the flow and let it happen. Now is not the time, now is the time for your blossoming. There is, again, like the red garden, right? Remember how we talked about that? We talked about the butterfly, right? Watering those seeds, and that's exactly what Spirit is saying here is you're entering a very fertile time in your life, like a very big time to follow your ambitions, to follow your creative freedoms. And I think what's happening here is to unlock more of your divine feminine, to unlock more of your creative energy, you need to connect and have the balance with your divine masculine energy to be able to really flourish, okay? That's what your guides want you to know, and that's why the red is coming through so strongly here, because the root chakra needs to be healed. And you know, there could be some wounds there from your childhood, right? Because that's kind of the first chakra that we become aware of, not really aware of, but it's the first chakra that's really ignited, right, as a child, because that's the first foundation they're building is stability, foundations, knowing how to feel safe in the world, right? And so you could have not had that in your life, which is why there's some kind of holes in your foundation, right, of your root chakra. So your spiritual team just wants to bring this to your attention so that you can really work on that, because it's going to help with the illusions, and it's going to help you step into your divine feminine much more intensely. And then we have talismans of potency. Look at that. Sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field. So in a lot of these cards, it's kind of talking about you are a healer. So that is a gift that I think you also possess, is maybe energy healing, Reiki, right? Whatever really calls to you, but you're a healer. That's one of your gifts. So really focusing on using tools that call to you to help with energy is something that your spiritual guides want you to get more into. Remember how we're talking about kind of improving your relationship with spirituality, right? Because your guides want you to spend more time with them, right? So they can give you the downloads and give you everything that you need, right? So that is crazy. So yeah, you have a beautiful gift of healing energy. So I would definitely look more into that if you don't already know that you possess that gift, because your guides, your spiritual team wants you to start stepping into that power that you possess, only because you can heal your own energy, right? So look into energy healing, because it will help you heal this root chakra energy, and then you'll realize you possess this gift. And maybe that's the change in direction, because I think for some of you, what you're working on currently, your guides are proud of what you've been doing, right? They're proud of your ambition. They're proud of you figuring out what you want. But if this doesn't feel true to you, what you're working on right now, then allow yourself to do what does feel true. Remember how we talked about that? I mean, that's really tying into this as well, right? Is maybe, you know, when you realize some more of your spiritual gifts that haven't been shown to you, right? That will speak more to what you want to do. I don't think that resonates for all of you, but it's for some of you. So, but overall, these are encouraging messages from your guides, and spiritual team, which is just beautiful. So I definitely sense so much work that you guys have done. And why I say that is because in this card, she's kind of walking through this gate, maybe out of a garden or into a garden. And there's a lot of flowers here, right? And so I see that you've already basically walked through the garden, right? You've really gone through a maze. You've really figured out things. And so you have done a lot of work as it is. So take a moment to kind of now see, right, what else, okay, where can I feel more loved within myself? How can I take care of myself more? And that's just what your spiritual team is bringing to your attention. But overall, this is your message. So I really hope this gave you some words of encouragement and helped kind of shed some light on maybe some things that you've been feeling confused about. Your spiritual team is here with you always, and they're here to support you. So connect with them more and allow them to help you. But please leave me a like and consider subscribing if this resonated with you. And I will see you guys in the next pick a card reading. All right, group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's jump straight into it. We're going to start with the tarot cards first, and then we'll jump into the oracle cards. So let's see some positive and encouraging messages from your spiritual team. We have the Two of Swords in reverse, the Emperor, the Wise Counselor, which is also the Hierophant, dang, the Chariot, the Five of Wands, and the Hermit. Wow, look at those major arcana cards, you guys. Okay, what I'm getting is your spiritual team, it wants you to know that you're really stepping into your power. Like, come on, we have the Wise Counselor here, we have the Emperor card here, and it's all because you've seen the power of the Hermit mode. I can't talk about the Hermit mode enough. I'm a natural, introvert. So I'm a natural hermit really by nature, but it's kind of more just about going internally, right? It's truly kind of what the Hermit is. And your guides want you to, your spiritual team wants to basically give you a round of applause, right? For the amount of work that you've put into yourself. Because going into hermit modes, it can be easy to spend time alone, but going internally it can be harder, right? But that's why the hermit mode is so powerful, because we all need to go internally, introspection, right? And you've done that. And that's why you're in this Emperor, right? That's why you're in this Hierophant. That's why, you're this Five of Wands, right? Because this is Five of Wands, like how I'm really picking this up is you basically look in the mirror and you see yourself for who you truly are now, right? You stepped into your higher power. You've stepped into your intuition, right? With the Moonstone, you've really just been able to kind of see the divine in you, right? And you've been able to look in the mirror and be like, no, this is my passion and I believe in myself, because you've had people who have been in this mirror, right? Who have reflected back at you saying, you can't do that. You're dumb. You can't do that. What do you mean? You can't be successful. And it's like, you're like, no, I know who I am. And it's from a place of, grace and a place of love, but you know who you are and you know your power, right? And things are going to start coming your way quickly, because that's how much you've raised your frequency. You're basically as close to embodying your higher self as you ever have. And your spiritual team wants you to realize what a huge, amazing accomplishment that is, because we're all shifting from, the old energy. And now at this new age of Aquarius, it's been hard for people to really shift into kind of remembering our souls, right? And starting to really connect with our higher selves. And so maybe, you've been connected to your higher self for a long time, right? But regardless, you've put so much work into raising your frequency that you're the closest to your higher self you've ever been. And your spiritual team just wants to, because that's amazing, right? That's where you need to be. That's where we all want to be, because that means your higher self is the default in your unconscious, okay? Think about when you're just driving and you don't even really think about it, right? Because you know how to do it. It's so ingrained into you, you don't really even have to think twice, right? Like you'll be driving and then I'll be like, oh shit, it's been like 20 minutes, because I'll just be thinking, because you know how to drive, right? And that's literally your robot, your avatar, being able to just run on whatever the default is. And in the past, really how society has been brought up is the ego is the default, but not anymore. The higher self, the soul, is becoming the default of the unconscious. So the ego no longer is the one driving, right? And you know, you've realized this, you've worked really hard on this, which is why this is here. And so just know the Chariot, things are going to start coming your way because you've raised your frequency. I just had to say that because that's amazing. Like, that's literally what your spiritual team is telling me that you've like done. And that's like a big focus on my channel, right? Is helping people kind of understand the unconscious. And so all I can say is, God damn, like, you're badass, because that shit is not easy, okay? It's not easy. So way to go. We have Two of Swords in reverse. And so yeah, exactly, you make decisions because you're the Emperor. You make decisions because you listen to your intuition. Your intuition is fucking on point, right? Because you've worked on your spirituality. You're wise. But you're I mean, you know, with the Emperor and the wise counselor, the Hierophant, right? Like, you're wise and you're in your power, but you're still very elegant, right? You're still very, what's the word, poised. You're still very, sometimes that word escapes my brain all the time. I don't know, I can't, you know what I'm trying to say though. But yeah, this is beautiful. Wow. Yeah, I hope this is really making you realize how much work you've done, and that it's okay to pat yourself on the back and be like, damn, I'm a badass, because you are. All right, let's see what else we got. We got bloom. Exactly, you've bloomed. Look at that, you have bloomed, okay? And some of you, I kind of feel like, may not realize you have gotten this far. Some of you do. I think the majority of you do, right? You're watching this being like, yeah, all right, stop, go on. But I think some of you still maybe doubt yourself. And so hopefully this is making you realize how much you've bloomed, right? And how much is coming your way because of the watering you've done. We have the Perfect Key. So this is a beautiful card because I wish it was a little bigger. These cards are a little bigger, but she's holding this bird cage, right, with her heart in it. And she has the key, but the bird on her shoulder has a bunch of other keys. And this is kind of beautiful because what Spirit is saying here is, again, because you're elevated, you know what's right for your life, but you're open to other possibilities as well. You flow, right? Like, you have a direction, right? You choose things for your life. You're like, yeah, I know this key opens this door, but you're open to new keys coming into your life, right? You're like, let's try this key. Oh, this opened a totally new door. And so your spiritual team is just reminding you that, you know, when those keys do come to you and when new opportunities become available to you, to really fill into it and see if you want to use your key and go down that door or open a new one, right? So your spiritual team just wants to let you know that, because again, with the Chariot, a lot of rewards, opportunities, things are going to start coming your way. So your spiritual team just wants you to know that your intuition is basically like the key, right? So use your intuition to open the different doors, right? We have Rose Garden. Yeah, exactly. You have learned to be beautiful, but also in your power, right? Like, you've learned balance. And you know, with the Two of Swords here too, like, that's, you're balanced. You've learned how to work with all of your different energies, because we have the Chariot too with the two horses, like yin and yang type of thing, right? There's a lot of balance here. And so you've really learned to balance being humble and being, you know, poised, and the other word I'm looking for that everyone's probably like, I know exactly what you're trying to say. But you're also in your power, right? And so that's what's pretty about a rose, right? Is they're so beautiful, but they have thorns, because that's the thing is things that, especially, you know, tapping into kind of your divine feminine energy, and you've had to overcome like a lot, right? It's, you still can hold this place of love and compassion. But if someone mistreats you, right, you are now in such a high vibration that it's not that you poke them, right? Like, you're not, it's just more about, you will do what you need to for yourself, right? In the sense that, okay, well, I am operating at a higher vibration, so no thank you, right? And it's more just, it's that you will stand up for yourself when you need to, right? But you do it in a graceful way. That's the word I'm looking for. We have Morning Dew Girl. So to me, this is all about, yeah, kind of things are going to be coming into your life. And I guess I should be really showing you this image. Things are going to be coming into your life. You know, these different dewdrops, right? These different raindrops are going to be coming into your life. And it might be hard to choose which ones, right? And so again, remember that your intuition is the perfect key. So whatever is coming into your life and you're like, because there's going to be a lot coming in, okay? And if you're like not sure, again, use your intuition. Your spiritual team is calling us to help too if you're kind of feeling a little foggy, and we're going to give you the clearance that you need. I'm also hearing that rising with the sun might be a very empowering thing for you. You know, morning dew, in the sense that waking up with the sun can really charge you with, you know, divine, like masculine energy that can really help you kind of continue to just kind of have basically this charged energy. That doesn't have to apply to all of you, but it's definitely something I was hearing for some of you. So take it as it resonates. But so far, these are beautiful messages from your guides. Yeah, I love the range of colors here too. You got, again, a lot of balance. So there's a lot of chakra colors, right? The heart chakra, you got solar plexus, you got the, I mean, you go heart chakra again, which makes sense, right? And then, I mean, it's just the red, the orange, like you basically have all the colors here, right? Soul retrieval. So yeah, that's basically what's happening, is your guides just want to, again, give you kudos for basically retrieving your soul. Remember how we talked about that, right? That your soul, your higher self, has stepped into the default, and it won't be perfect, right? Your ego will still be there, because your ego is just part of the conscious, it's part of the human experience. But you've learned how to work with your ego more, right? And so you've retrieved your soul. And so again, we have purple here. So your guides just, and your spiritual team just wants to give you kudos for getting your higher self to really step into that default, because now you can really start your light work, start what you're here to do. We have wings of Isis. You have a special spiritual relationship with the angelic worlds. Look at that. Yeah, so your spiritual team, right? You have some angels that walk with you. So there's amazing angel videos out there. So if you're not sure, but also just set the intention to have your angels appear to you, right? Angels love to talk through numbers. So you may see number sequences that, you know, you're like, what? Like 222, 444, right? Like all these, or 22, like all these just different sequences. You have angels that are here to provide some guidance. So if you want to talk with them, you're going to be able to, I think, I love it next to this bloom card, because I think it's almost like you're going to be able to get more insights, because angels provide so much love and wisdom, right? And so I would set the intention of having your angels come forward, or watch a video, right? So I'm sure there's a great reading out there. I don't have one on my channel right now. In the future I will, because I do want to work with angels, but it's not a practice I've really nailed right now. So, but yeah, I would definitely look into that, because that's pretty powerful. Angels are very powerful. So your spiritual team wants to bring that to your awareness, that you have an angel who I think definitely wants to speak with you, right? And that's why they want to make sure that this is known. So yeah, kind of a random little side message there. We have rising sun. Did I not say that? For some of you, you need to rise with the sun. Oh my God. Spirit is so on point sometimes. I think maybe then that's for a lot of you. And the reason why is because, again, when you rise with the sun, you're rising with the energy, right? When that sun is coming up, you're really feeling that energy and you're connecting with it. You're charging yourself, right? Yeah, that's enough said, I guess. Just blows my mind every time, because I was hearing that, like I kind of said what I did with this card, right? And then I kept hearing mention morning person. I'm like, really? Okay, so here we are. Spirit's like, told ya. All right, we have enter the chamber of healing. Okay, so A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you right now. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing energy to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should be. Expect your miracle. I mean, shit. Okay, so I think what Spirit is saying is there could be still some healing that you're working through. And that's the thing, is even if you step into your divine or your higher self, right? We're always working on ourselves. We're always healing things because it's part of the human experience. So, you know, whatever needs to be healed, I think it's going to be brought to your attention if you don't already know what it is, but it's going to be something that is going to just happen. And now actually, I think it might be this angel can either bring the insights of what else needs to be healed, or the angel will help you heal. Okay. So that is something that I think is important. So if you're not sure what else might be kind of in need for healing, then reach out to your spiritual team, right? And ask, you know, for guidance, ask for that clarification if you don't already know. But your intuition is pretty on point. So I'm sure you already know, and you might be actively working on it. And so know if you're actively working on it, that your miracle healing is going to be coming, right? And you're going to be able to, because this rising sun does also say a dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you. One of hope, glory, light. Oops. All of these really. Light and triumph. It is won through boldness and persistence. You now have been through so much, and now victory is upon you, beloved. For the divine solar child, a new consciousness within you is born. Fuck, Spirit, dude. Okay. Life restored. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of your life you thought was dead is being revived and will flourish back into your life, just as the phoenix rises from the fire. So too will you rise again and be healed and renewed. Fuck. That's beautiful. Yeah, enter the chamber of healing. Okay, so if you're already going through this healing journey, continue and ask for help from an angel, you know, and you can even just work with angels in general, right? Like Archangel Michael, and I'm sure there's a lot of other angels who are intended to help with healing, with deep-rooted healing, right? Because once you do that, you're really gonna unlock more of your kind of higher self, right? But they said it. You're literally integrating into a new level of consciousness, which we already knew that because of the major arcana cards here, but it's just crazy to have it be more affirmed, because like I said, it's badass, because it's not easy, like raising your consciousness. It is not easy. It is really hard to literally reprogram your brain. What? Like we don't even know that much about the brain. It's literally insane. It's like the ocean. We like barely know anything, and yet we're like, we're so high and mighty. It's like, huh. Anyways, so I hope this brought you some words of encouragement. If you didn't already know, you're a badass, and gave you some insight too on some other things that your spiritual team is wanting you to heal, right, and work towards, and they're here to help you do that. So overall, this was your message. So please leave me a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if this resonated. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next group, so I will see you guys in the next pick a card reading. All right, group 4, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. We're gonna start with the tarot cards, and then we'll get into the oracle cards. Come on. All right, so let's jump in and words of encouragement from your spiritual team. All right, we have awakening in reverse, the world in reverse, the 7 of Wands, the King of Pentacles in reverse, and the 8 of Swords, or no, excuse me, the 8 of Cups. Okay, so what I'm hearing from your spiritual team is they want you to know that they recognize that you're feeling stuck right now, because you're definitely in a stuck energy. We have the world in reverse, and we have the awakening in reverse, which is also the hangman, right? So, but this is what's next in your ascension, is you need to kind of get a perspective, right? And your guides want you to get to this point of this perspective, because obviously what's on the end is the World, which is the last card, you know, in the major arcana, because it's all about enlightenment, right? It's all about going through the hero's journey, all about the soul's journey. And so you're here to kind of reach a really big point in your ascension, right? So that is what is wanting to occur right now, but there's some stuck energy. And that's the thing is, though things happen in divine timing, right? And this is a point where spirit, your guide and spirit, the universe, God, whatever you resonate with, is wanting you to ascend, right? This is a time that the collective is ascending and waking up, right? To be able to raise our consciousness and complete our light work. But you still have free will, right? So some of the, you know, actions, some of your beliefs, it stands like, could be maybe making you feel a little bit blocked. And really the key to letting it go is figure out what is worth standing up for and what's not, and leave it behind. That's what your guides are just wanting you to know is, we know that you're feeling stuck. Here's the answer you've been seeking, is what I'm hearing, is stand up for yourself and what you believe in and let go of what you don't, okay? Because when you let go of what you no longer serves you, that's when you get the perspective that you need, because you're gonna basically get an ego death, right? Where you're gonna be like, shit, I'm leaving some stuff behind. And that is, I think, some of the hardest part about getting through this kind of energy shift is things are being brought to the light that no longer serve us, that are not part of our higher self. And that's really hard, right? It's hard to be able to kind of lose pieces of yourself that you're like, what the fuck? But it's part of your ascension, right? And so that's why Spirit is saying there needs to be some intention to really see what is no longer serving you. Because again, when you kind of make okay, here's what I'm saying is gonna happen. This is actually an interesting thing, because this hasn't happened with the other groups, but I see your cards as a matter of sequence. Your spiritual team wants me to show you kind of how things are gonna unfold in order, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever really gotten that before, but let's kind of dive through this basically. So it's gonna be this. All right, so I'm gonna turn them around for you so you can see what I'm kind of talking about here, okay? So what we're starting with is from the Seven of Wands. So your spiritual team wants you to evaluate things in your life, right? Again, what is it that drives you? What is it that you believe in, right? Everything in your life, stand up for the things that you believe in, but challenge the things that no longer serve you, okay? Once you figure that out, once you figure that out and you walk away from what no longer serves you, automatically you're gonna raise your frequency, and this is gonna put you in the hangman perspective. Being in this hangman perspective is going to allow you to step into the King of Pentacles energy, right? Someone who's compassionate, accomplished, like basically just has their shit together, right? In the sense of, because you're gonna get the clarity you need of who you truly are. So you're gonna get your shit together for yourself, because you're gonna be like, no, I am so sick of being stuck. I am so sick of kind of this feeling, right? Once you figure out what no longer serves you, you'll step into that power. And once you're able to step into that power, you're gonna reach the ascension point that you need to reach, okay? That's crazy. Yeah, your spiritual team just wants you to know that that's what they really want you to focus on, because they want you to see your true potential and see your power and step into your ascension, so that you can basically get the rewards that are coming to you, okay? Wow, that's pretty direct in the sense that I've never had that happen before. Literally just sequencing it out. They're just like, put it in order, and I was like, okay. Whatever you say. So thanks, Spirit, for the clear message there. So yeah, let's keep going. We have Ava. So what this is all about is, this is about deceit. And the way that I see this is your ego. Okay, your ego is kind of the snake, right, around her neck. Might be a little hard to see, but there's a snake around her neck, and kind of think of it as like Adam and Eve, right? It's the snake of like temptation. And so a part of your ego is called the id, and it may sound familiar because it's Sigmund Freud, but it really makes sense to me in the way that I like to describe your id is kind of the pleasure seeker, right? How can I feel better right now? How can I feel good? And that has been literally society's default, is how can I feel good? Think about it, right? Indulgence culture that we have within our society. And so what kind of your spiritual team is saying here is, again, as you're letting go of things that no longer serve you, I think this is one of those mindsets of kind of realizing that you don't want your ego and you don't want your id to be the ones who are in the default. We're trying to get to the point of having your higher self, your soul, the one in the default. And I know that can sound kind of confusing, but it's basically just your consciousness, right? So we're talking about, we've literally been, society has, if you think about the human, our body as an avatar, right, or as a robot, I think a robot is kind of a good way to explain it. And our soul is just in this robot, kind of controlling it, right? Depending, the brain is what is actually controlling it, right? So when our ego is the one in the default seat, which our ego is the shadow self, it's part that, it's all the unconscious things, right? So it's our behaviors, it's the way we were brought up, it's the way that, it's our values, it's basically just everything that has shaped us. But your higher self is your soul and who you truly are, right? And so when you work with your soul more, you're allowing your higher self to be the one who steps into the default of controlling the robot, right? So that's kind of what that means, is just be aware of your ego and those pleasure seeking. And it's not that you can't indulge, obviously you can. We're here to experience the human life, but our ego cannot be the one in the default, because that's not what we should be seeking. We should be seeking love, right? Inner love, like love in general, connectiveness, light, seeking these ascension things, right? We have House of Flowers. Yeah, look at that. So self-love, you know how I just talked about that? I think that is important, right? It's kind of realizing, I think that's a big part of what you've really started focusing on is your self-love. And your spiritual team really wants you to put even more focus into your self-love, because basically you're planting this garden within, right? And planting this garden within is, again, allowing that higher self to step into the seat. Because if you're planting self-love and self-compassion, you're inviting that frequency into your life, right? And you're allowing that to raise. And so that's going to raise your consciousness. So water that garden, water your self-love, water your self-compassion. Okay. And then we have the observer. Yeah, again, observe the ego, observe your thoughts. Your spiritual team just wants you to, you know, when you think about how you feel about things, and as you're going through this, observe how it makes you feel physically. How does your body feel? If you get any pains or any kind of like adrenaline rushes or like whatever the case is, right? Listen to your body and see, because you're having an emotional reaction, right, to that. And if it doesn't feel positive, that means it's time to let it go, because your soul is basically trying to reject it, right? And trying to show you, your intuition is trying to show you that this isn't good for you. So that's one thing, to observe how your physical body feels and how you feel emotionally when you're thinking about these things. I'm hearing it might be good to like write it, like whiteboard it, type it, like in the sense of like brain dumping, like just write down all the things, you know, that you know about yourself. Like, I believe in this, I think this way. Like, it might take a bit, and ask, you know, your guides for help, but observe how you feel about things as you're realizing what no longer serves you, right? Because then you'll be able to know what to let go of. And then we have weaving flowers. Yeah, exactly. So you're basically watering your inner garden, and know that that's going to bloom. And having an inner garden is the most powerful thing you can do, because when we learn to love ourselves and we learn to take care of ourselves, it automatically raises our frequency. It raises the frequency of others around us, and it allows us to have more space to love and give compassion and step into our light work. So it's really beautiful. Let's see what else your guides have to say for some words of encouragement. We have key of life. Yes, so know that, you know, the self-growth and the self-love and kind of realizing who you are and what you want is the key to life, because you have to know yourself. And because how can you truly step into your light work, right? Or how can you truly have the capacity to love someone as so deeply if you don't have that relationship with yourself? So, and I think you've come to terms with this, right? I don't think this is new. I think you know that. And that's, like I said, I think some of you have been working on your self-love. And so your spiritual team is saying, yes, that's the perfect direction. That's the right direction. And part of your self-love is seeing what makes you feel loved, right? And what makes you feel happy. And that's the key to life, right? Is using your intuition there. Look at that. Power over 7 scorpions. Okay, listen to this. You are being initiated into the magic of conjuring. So as to have power to affect lower vibrational forces through your own with your spoken word. You are guided to use this powerful gift with compassion and discernment, with mercy and non-judgment. You can then manage any toxicity in your life swiftly with great effect. Look at that. That is one of your basically spiritual gifts, right? Is you, when you really step into love, right? We're talking about self-love. When you really step into that self-love, again, it raises your vibration, it raises your frequency, and that is gonna help other lower vibrational souls, right? It's gonna raise their frequency. That is literally, Plus, the wisdom that your soul possesses is gonna be uplifting to people. It's gonna raise their frequency. So you could be like an author or like a public speaker, or want to just work one-on-one with people. Maybe you want to work with people, right? And so your words are gonna be very powerful if you don't already know this. And so again, that's stepping into, that's why your spiritual team wants you to go through this ascension kind of upgrade, right? To be able to step into these powers that you possess that you may not even be aware of. Crazy. And then we have proper burial for freedom. There is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost by trying to hold on to what no longer serves us. Osiris, Lord of the Dead, guide you now to release what no longer serves you and what needs to be let go and no longer a part of your life, so that you may be free. Spirit is on point with these cards, man. Like, I'm telling you. So exactly like what we talked about, right? And so if you need some extra assistance in helping you kind of identify what to let go, your spiritual team is saying not only ask for them, but help set the intention to ask Osiris, right? To help you be able to let go and move on, kind of ease some of the pain of loss. Because when you do have an ego death, it can be very painful because you feel like you've lost a part of yourself, right? And there's nothing to immediately fill that hole. That's what part of the ascension is you're opening up space for new things to come into your life, right? But it can feel hard when that's empty. And so it's okay to get the assistance, but this is insane because this is exactly what your spiritual team wants you to do. The word of encouragement here is, I know it feels sucky to say like, here's homework, right? From your guides, like homework from your spiritual team, but it's more that they just want you to realize that this is what you need, because there's so many things that are not being utilized and your spiritual team wants to see you be your best, right? So that that's beautiful. And then we have scales of balance. Balancing, give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are always here to balance, give and take, directing and flowing. So we have scales of balance. So your spiritual team, actually I'm hearing you are really starting to learn some balances in your life. You've kind of, again, you've started to work on some of your self-love. So you've learned some balances already. And so your spiritual team is saying, continue to balance fun and play, you know, your spending time alone, spending time with others. Just always think of the balance, the push and the pull, the yin and the yang. It's really a big energy of the universe, right? It's kind of the push and pull effect. And so it's something that, you know, really think about as keeping one of your core values of believing in kind of balance, right? It will really help you throughout your ascension. That's what I'm hearing for your spiritual team. But overall, this is the message from your spiritual team. So I hope this brought you some encouragement and kind of just some awareness. I know it can feel sucky to be like, ugh, but this is actually beautiful because you're getting very clear communication with how to move yourself forward, right? Which is very direct and very clear, and still blowing my mind that they're like, put it in order, because it really is so clear. It can be more clear. So your spiritual team is definitely your number one cheerleader. They're here to help you become your best self. So if you're ever having self-doubt or ever need words of encouragement, just ask them, right? And it's about setting the intention. I would really like some words of encouragement, and they'll give you what you need in the way that is going to be meaningful to you, okay? But overall, please consider subscribing and leave me a like and comment, and I will see you guys in the next pick a card reading.